Well, let's get you updated on things. And for one thing, we had some brand new information that just came out a moment ago. It's our weekly edition of our ethanol production report. Wondered if there was going to be much change or not. Let's take a look. And it really didn't change too much, although production did pick up a little bit. 22,000 barrels per day higher than it was a week ago at 1.043 million barrels per day. The 4-week average stayed the same. Ethanol stocks barely budged. They were up 100,000 barrels, and the imports remained at zero. So not much change in any of those ethanol numbers there. If anything, it was just a little bit friendly as far as the production goes. Now, when it comes to the prices on the grain board, just not doing much of anything. Let's go to the corn. Our quotes are provided by Bar Chart. Softening up a little bit now. We have September corn 1 3/4 lower. December new crop down a half at 593 3/4. Even though we sold some soybean meal to Poland overnight, it was 135,000 tons. Soybeans have turned around and done a slight nosedive here. You have September down 10.5 at 1405 1/4, and November 1376 1/4 would be down 10 1/4 cents right now. In the wheat market, it also turned lower today. In Chicago, September down 3 3/4. We're now posted at 771 per bushel. In Kansas City, September is down 3 at 839 1/4. It had been higher overnight. Spring wheat trade in Minneapolis, September 5 3/4 higher at 879, although we did have some strong gains early today. And in the cotton market, December is 34 points higher at 95.15 per pound, although the other months are steady to a little weaker. Well, Mr. Todd Bubba Horowitz is on board with us right now. He's with BubbaTrading.com. He's based out of Chicago. And always good to visit with you, Todd, about what's going on in the markets. Today, the market seems to be trying to find its way here in the grains. Can you even read much into it today?
Well, Marlon, on the seventh day, they rested. And I think we're just seeing a little bit of calm trade, although we have turned lower after being slightly higher, but we've been really mostly hovering around unchanged. I think we were just really in this big, wide old trading range going back and forth, and let's go light. And I think you're seeing the funds try to muscle them a little bit, trying to force the banks to create a liquidation sale, and they have not been successful at doing that, which is why we continue to bounce every time off of those lows. I mean, I think we're going higher, Marlon. It's a challenge to say that. It's a challenge to watch them. But the trade is so thin, but there are so many negatives out there that should indicate and lead to higher prices. I think that before it's all said and done, we will see much higher prices.
What do you think would be the driving factor to make them go up?
Well, food. How about a shortage of food? How about a shortage of delivery? How about not enough for the rest of the world? There's already food riots in certain parts of the world now. So that would be, to me, where it really comes into play, and I think that's a real possibility as we watch. And again, if we get bad weather, if Mother Nature doesn't help us here, it could be really ugly, which would be good. It would be good for grain prices, not so good for the consumer.
I noted where the crude oil trade today. If we take a look at West Texas Intermediate crude, it has been weakening up. We're down $1.42 on September futures at $93 even per barrel. Is that adding pressure maybe to the corn market or not?
I don't really think so, Marlon. I think that crude has been kind of working lower. It's a little bit in a downtrend right now. And yes, there is some correlation at certain points in time, but I think at this point it's just simply markets are kind of trading independently, and everybody's trying to jump on different pieces of the news at different times. And I think we'll see that it will turn itself together at some point, but I do think crude's going to go a lot higher as well. So I think the sell-off is just temporary to begin with at the same time.
The good old summer doldrums. All right. Well, thank you, Todd, for talking with us. Appreciate that very much. Todd Bubba Horowitz of BubbaTrading.com. I'll be back in a moment, and we'll take a look at our livestock trade coming up next.